All right, I'm back. For today's video, I'm gonna be showing you how I did the rod to put on the shelves to cover my welder. So first thing I'm gonna do is cut it to size. The reason it has this piece in the middle is because I wanted to have like a stopper so the two pieces of the curtain can not overpass the center part. So it's gonna be like the stopper there, plus there's gonna be another piece going up to give it support in the center. Now I'm gonna cut on the sides. I've already measured where I'm gonna be cutting, and I'll be using this bandsaw here. Put your tube right there, wherever you want to cut it. And this you lift up, in case you haven't used the bandsaw. Right here, there's a release, which I'll show later. I'll zoom in on the little hydraulic shock here so you can lower it fast, and then you stop it and you want it to close it to where it creeps down. It's like a hydraulic cylinder that you control how fast you want the bandsaw to drop. So once you have it all perfect, tighten right here so the tube doesn't try to spin, and you hit go. And this is gonna go down and start cutting on its own. Meanwhile, I'm gonna be making the little brackets that are gonna go in the corner so I can screw it into the shelving. And I will be doing it out of this piece, a flat bar. I marked it right in the middle. I'm gonna cut it in half, bend it, and punch a couple of holes so I can put the screws through. One part is gonna be welded to this tubing, and the other part is gonna be bolted so I can take it off if I ever need to from the shelves. I'm gonna be using the tooth machines today, that bandsaw to cut the tubing and the iron worker to go fast, and because here you can do flat stuff. Round things have to be done over there. Go right here, put it where I need to cut, hit my lever, and it's cut. And then come up here and punch the holes. But let me zoom in so you can see what's going on there. To cut with the iron worker, which is really fast, it cuts right there. So what I did was just put the flat bar in, and then when you hit the lever down here, it goes down and you shears it. Now here, I'm gonna put it to make a hole, kind of like at the end right here, maybe like ½ inch from the end and right in the center. Yep. Oh, look what happens. Sometimes you gotta be careful when you do it right up an edge, because it'll bend up, it'll pull it up and kind of bend it. You see what happened there? But that's fine. I can straighten that out with a hammer. Let me go and get the other piece that went over to the other side, and I'll show you now how this time I'm gonna prevent that, or attempt to prevent that from happening. And that happens when you do it at the edge, and it's a thin material like this that is like a 1/16 of an inch thick only. Here we go again. So going up, because it's so thin, it's gonna try to, I'm gonna stick this here to hold it. Let me try it again. If when I release, see, it tries to bend it up. Sometimes I could get like and this only happens with thin material like this. If I would have done it with anything thicker, it would not be happening. It just gets stuck there. There it goes. Barely got bent, but this is rare. It's just because I'm using this material again. Okay, so we're done with this part. Let me show you now, when I come now and adjust here, what I'm doing. I'm gonna flip this over, open up the jaw here. I'll put the other side in to get it ready to cut. Lift the bandsaw again. Find the mark, or align it with the blade. Once it's aligned, close it up. And let me show you the little valve here that gets opened. Let me come around. So down here, let me go more down. One more. Oh, not enough. Right there. So there's this little valve here that gets turned. And if you do it counterclockwise, this goes down fast. So you close it so you can make it go very slowly. Now this one's to shut off completely, this little lever here. This is the one that adjusts this. So I'm gonna bring it down fast so it doesn't take forever to like where I want it to meet. I'll stop like half an inch before and I'll put it down very close so you can go very slowly because you don't want it to go too fast because you can make this blade jump and it goes out of place inside this machine. So you want it to move, but slowly. And then tighten this that I forgot. There we go. That's a good thing about this machine, that you leave it here, you let it go, and you can do something else while it's cutting, because it's using its own weight to go down. But again, you gotta control it and close that valve there so that the shock goes slowly, because if it goes too fast, you're gonna jump the blade. Also, you open here. I really didn't even open it now because this is very thin metal that I'm doing. It's pretty quick, but let me show you right here. You open this here to let the fluid out so that the whole blade gets wet and it doesn't overheat. And you control that right here with this little ball valve here. You know, again, you open it enough so a little bit of fluid goes through. You don't want all that dripping, so you have to be adjusting it when you first open it. So it could be enough to be wetting the band here, but you don't want it to be dripping. Although it really doesn't matter because whatever falls through there or through here that's dripping comes into this catch pan here that has a hole in the middle that goes to the bottom to like the reservoir that then a pump pumps it up and comes out through here. So it's really getting recycled the whole time. Only a little bit gets lost of whatever splashes or whatever. So it's not like you're losing all of that cutting fluid. Let me go to the other side now. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is bend these at a 90. But first I'm gonna straighten it out since the machine kind of making the hole messed it up for me a little bit. Good enough. So basically I'm gonna do a 90 here and I want just a little piece to be towards the metal where I'm gonna screw, but I want it to pop out about 2.5 inches from the location. So what I'll be doing is kind of bending it right around here. And I'm gonna bend it to like a 90. Pretty perfect. Same thing here now. Let's do a 90 here. Pretty good. Now the next thing will be, because this is what's gonna go, kind of like think about if this was the shelf, it's gonna be screwed into it. The bar is gonna be up here, welded. Let me get the welder ready. I'll be right back. Okay, so now we're gonna start the welding part. And first thing I'm gonna do is where this is gonna go, I'm gonna clean it up a little bit. By the way, also with that machine right there with the iron work, I cut the tips off a little bit here in the corners, so I don't have to grind off so much later on when I want to even it out to the roundness of that tube. So it looks ugly right now, but it'll be smoothed out just to give me a head start and not have to eat so much later on out of it. So now what I'll be doing is going to be putting this piece right here. And first I'm going to clean it up a little bit. any little rust that was there, so you could now grab good. This is brand new pipe, so I'm not even gonna bother with it. This is not like something that needs super integrity here. And I have you zoomed in so you could see the actual weld here, what's gonna happen. Let me start it off a little tack, make sure it's straight. And to do the back part, I'm just gonna remove it. This is just so I could get it straight where I have this tube or conduit on the vise. Little tack there. This is just so it doesn't pull from one side to the other. I'm gonna do one on the back. And that should let me now do the bead around. Got it too hot. It's going through. So let me bring it down to 450. Let me do the part that I already kind of damaged, fill it in. So when you put it too hot, it'll just make a hole, which is what it did there. And I'm gonna cover the camera now, but just a little piece here. One more. Got it. Now I can just do the back side. Which I can do at a different angle now, because now it's not going to be moving on me, and I got it the way I want it, which is it could go like this up against the shelf. I could do this one like this here, so y'all can see. Now I'm not super tight in this because I don't want to bend the pipe, squish it.
Hi, Papi.
Hi. Hi, son. No. Get back a little bit. Okay, now that it's turned around, let me do this side here. I'm doing a double bead. The second pass here, because I went very light on the first one. And that should do it. Perfect. Now I'm gonna grind off the end here to make it nice and smooth. What I was saying earlier that I was doing when I cut the little edges, I'm gonna now fix it up a little bit. The reason I didn't want it to be just pointing, somebody doesn't pass real tight up against the shelf and get scratched. Even though nobody should be that tight up against it, but you never know. So now, as you can see, it's nice and rounded off and perfect. Okay, so here's the finished project of why I was making this piece at a specific size, is because And this is one of those pallet shelf racks like the Home Depot style. And it has every certain amount of inches already holes so you can move these beams. And I wanted to use a pair of the holes already, so I didn't have to make extra holes for where I was gonna hook up this bar. And this is why that was like a 90-degree L that I did with the little piece of metal. And the hole was so I could screw it over here. Going across then in the middle, one thing that I did after I finished welding both sides, which I showed one earlier, is that I welded this piece of bar up here. So I knew from the beginning I was gonna have to do it because of the weight was gonna make it flex down. So there goes a piece of bar, and then it has another one from the middle coming towards this one, basically like a brace. And at the top end of this one here, what I did was that I welded a nut and I put a screw through with a nut at the back. So there's a nut at the end of this bar, and over here I just welded it to the middle here. So this is welded here now. So now, and the reason for this was because I wanted to protect it from the sun. Right now the sun is not hitting here. As you can probably see on the video, there's some sun out there, but earlier in the day, it's beaming right here. And here's where I keep my welders and my welding tanks and all that, and I don't want to have extra heat hitting it. And also, this is fire retardant, it's fiberglass. So when I'm welding out here, it protects any of the boxes or anything else in here from the sparks, which actually is normally where I weld, is right here close to the entrance of the garage of the shop. And I put a link in the bottom actually to these. I really like these blankets. They're fiberglass. They were pretty economical. I think I paid like, I don't know, I think $30-something for both of them. And they could be put, they come already with 4 grommets, 2 up there, actually 6, 2 in the middle and 2 in the bottom. So you could go sideways, and it's 4 feet by 6 feet. You could put them sideways like that, and then you'll have, 6 and 6, 12 feet long. But I wanted them up and down, and I wanted to adjust and make my own holes, because if not, it was gonna sit lower and drag. And yes, I could have made the holes here and just manipulated this section and not have to put new grommets here. But the thing was that I wanted to use the existing holes over here. Plus I wanted to add more grommets because it only came with 2 on that side, where it comes with 3s on when you put it horizontally. So it works out great, and it's gonna help out with sparks shooting that way. Catch you on the next one.